I would say that in my population, the early childhood population, they're the same challenges that there are in the greater population. We see a high rate of obesity in a lot of our children. There is a lack of good food sometimes for families that are struggling because it's cheaper to buy, the high carb, right off processed stuff than some of the more, labor intensive, have to make it our own, but healthier quality food. I don't know if that means we get light boxes or, but yeah, so it is interesting. This was a pretty dreary fall, I would say. We had a couple of weeks where I was like, this is like February, March, it's just gray and everybody's kind of down, and kids are a little moody because they can't go outside and they can't do this. And so, yeah, you need sunlight, you need that physical activity, all of those charge up those endorphins. And
so this is a question, and I actually have a question about the question I'm going to ask, because we ask it a lot, and I think we're asking it wrong, because we're having trouble soliciting responses. So I'll ask it, but then you might have some feedback on how better to ask it. So as I said in the beginning, this is a partnership. This is a co-educational collaboration we're working on. And so we really want to know what we can bring as the UW to bear on this project that could be helpful, whether that's an area of expertise that you'd like to know more about in the context of your work, or specific questions that you have about climate change in the area. So yeah, it's an open-ended question, but it might be one that you have to think on for a little while as well.
I think expertise on the trending, what the trends are going to look like. And I know, 1 year does not make a trend, but if we can use what looks like it's trending based on the history of what we're seeing right now, I think that will in the future help us plan for, how do we do our emergency preparedness plans to incorporate longer days and some of this, or do we have to look at getting grants to build large motor areas because it just appears that we're going to be spending more time indoors. Also maybe I'm thinking now they're changing up all the windows in the Norbert Hill Center. The ones that are my Three Sisters site, none of the windows open. So if we lost power and it was a hot day, it's going to get very close in there very quickly. Is there some way outside of generators that we can be kind of off of the grid? Do we, put solar panels in there so we store our own battery power? Do we, what are some of the changes that we can make to our structural environment that we can work with what this trend is going to be? I mean, it's going to happen. So how do we be proactive about that? And I think that's where we need that trending data. This is kind of what it's going to look like in the future. So then, when we go seeking monies or grants or whatever to try to adapt to this, we can use that data going, this is what we're seeing, this is why we have to do it. We can't wait until it's here. It's coming, it's starting.
Well, we had a little pilot this summer with our foods program, and we have a farmers market in Oneida, and that's been in place, I believe, for at least 5+ years, maybe longer. And that farmers market once a week on Thursdays has been well received in the community, and there's a lot of good produce and healthy foods that are available to community members. So we had a partnership with the farmers market, the team, the food program, where we piloted kids in our pediatric department that were screened for high risk, and they had metabolic syndrome or were high risk for diabetes, and we actually wrote out a prescription, and that they took that prescription to the farmers market, and they were eligible for free produce, healthy foods. So there's partnerships happening at every level, and our mission really is public health focused and prevention focused. So if we could improve the lifestyles and the eating habits, and our community was more active, we can impact all these chronic illnesses that primarily lifestyle diseases.
I think another example of that partnership as well with Indigenous Foods has to do with a lot of our events. When we have events such as the Just Move It Oneida events, a lot of the traditional foods are served. We have corn mush, which is served as a meal for some of the walks in the morning. We have corn soup, which is utilizing the white corn, which is served as a lunch for some of the walks, and as a dinner for some of the walks. So we try to incorporate a lot of that Indigenous foods that are available to the community in the events that we sponsor. One of the other things that we do with the school system is that we offer the white corn on a monthly basis through the food service program within the school system. We also purchase a lot of the nation's beef and buffalo that's also offered on the school's menus. And then the partnership is our nutritionists from here are the consultants for the school system, for the Head Starts, and for the daycare. So wherever there's food served, that gets incorporated into the menus as well. And they do an analysis of the menus to make sure that we're meeting all the compliance in terms of, DPI or any of the other state requirements, because they also do serve as a consultant for the Anna John Resident Center and Care Community as well. So they monitor all of those diets, all of those menu planning, so that we have input into those processes for the nation.
People are already noticing that there have been changes in the food that's available to them. Patterns of migration are different. Where news used to be available and plentiful, today you don't see them as much or at all in some places where they used to be. And so things are definitely changing, and people depend on these food sources to sustain them. Well, there are a lot of people that depend on the land to sustain them. So things like wild rice or venison, especially fish in the Great Lakes region. And when you have industry that is potentially contaminating food sources, be it venison or fish, that can certainly impact people's well-being, not being able to practice those traditional ways of hunting and gathering. And people really depend on that, not only for themselves and their families, but there's a lot of industry wrapped around that as well at the local level. Traditional diet is a healthy diet. These are foods that are nutrient dense, low in fat. Foods like strawberries or hazelnuts or venison, those are all whole, good, slow foods, and to not be able to have access to that anymore, what does that do to a person's health if you're dependent on Western food systems? Eating processed foods that are not traditional, your body's not